yeah, baby. I say let's go. Hopeful, thank you, let's go. And the abasha a mampon MCU, obi mo mampon MCs and who asem aba bi di ha. Yebebusa questions about the governance of Akosua. The entina wo bu amemo sa. Ora Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, our member of parliament and government spokesperson, and so Edin Simbi aba betudwa. Yebedi nkomo Kwame Boakye ya do se agona nyame tiase nokre agona nyame otiase da bia. Agona nyame no wotiase da bia. Eti mamoma bibia hamo. Sadia meka ni yebedi nkomo akọ mampon yefriwa Felix Ofosu-Kwakye Edin Simbi tudwa. Yebekọ ne akọ akotutum amoahunu etro a yetwa. Uye no free wa United States of America de ban ato immigrants so immigrant visa so na enra ngroboti kadaji wabo onim the difference between immigrant visa and the norm eradi nyame because enra mature say eduru ho a mechirim eduru ho a me say world cup no ahye so ye the ban ato immigrant visa so no nim difference. Enipa matena professor Lulu Ferrante class enya A- wo immigration law minim immigration law wona anim we American immigration law ni chebe yate yento aso many time for mongwase asem ni munzim huno. Now President Kufuor etene ba bidin enema no bebre wo ho a etwam ye madwen say I won't pay attention to the nonsense being done by Amatela Ebio. But that is not to say we are going to give him a leeway. Say obetwantro ato enipa wo mabọ brachen nesen ene na busuafo nyina eso. Amatela de entrobia to former president Kufuor so efa chairman Stephen Ntim. Ene mene former president Kufuor edi nkomo. So I have his permission. Say sa nkomo no I will set the record straight about sound common. Yebedi sound common. But before that, Jabia said no. Mama public announcement. Now public announcement dikai and say see I said dollar a kosro dollar no bono dollar no say dollar no why de sid na a week. Nemom dollar no why de sid na a week ya. Ye kwahwe ye no wuyi wani free propaganda no so na aka say wo kohwe BOG report na anga se mu a BOG report for 2025, it shows that there is a significant reduction in a credit flow. Now, your credit flow no a man yoma bebre enyo the credit flow chira ne say amanfo bobosia free bank edidigwa no mo sa disika koto ma bank ne ye ade no say. According to Air Bank of Ghana, latest report, said the first 10 months of 2025, credit flow are now in 2024, a year 20.952 billion Ghana cedi, a reduce to about a year 8.86 billion. That is about 142% reduction. As it said the bank for a board market for manu ebosia. Emma womo etimi edidigwa no. In 2024, banks in a bobosia to the tune of 20.95 billion. Unfortunately, yes, dollar no aya den si deny den no. Banks in entimi a mobosia. Banks in a bosia omo boy ma manfo editre wo mo dwumadie mu nyina no. 8.626 billion. So that is a collapse of over 12 billion in credit flow just in 1 year. Tienye. Edientina credit flow no ehun hia. Credit flow no the lifeblood of the economy. Economy ni se beye yo, se enye yo, se be kosuro, se enkosuro. Credit flow no na ehia. If se credit flow no na ma business jina wo na so. Banks ne bo business. Banks ne bo household bosia. Eno na mo mutimi de etre wo machine na Akufo ado pen so yese ba dollar no enye and so 2024 banks ne bo manfo bosia o mo de tre o madwuma businesses expanding 20 billion ene dollar no aye investor confidence aba Jesus Christ aba ye hunu bi da nanso credit no a collapse banks mo be say banks no enye aban no oteso ni say ne figures na wo de maka kire mo say enye de aban ne wo pin ne hia sa wo betia mamuo no ase ne hia eti enye me na make Bank of Ghana no report ana odi aba say in the year 2025 credit flow no, that is softer credit expansion to the private sector no reduce. In simple terms, banks are playing it safe. In simple terms, banks and person because omonye aban no eni. Eti banks and bosia na yebono. And no more business in grow. Business, SME, small scale enterprises, traders, manufacturers. Wamuntimi nya adwuma, evise wamunya bosia mpompa nya adwuma. Na aban papa aba. Aban fun say na yema bre, let's give time some time. If you say man for koso mo gudomi market for mano, kantamanto for mano, makola for mano, wo mo koso mo kopebosia, wo mo nya bi. Enti unemployment rate kosoro na mabre, give time some time. Ronnie Thompson say you are very empty. Ronnie nyahwe, oni empty no amesero ma me fa nkyere mamfo no asesa wate. Ronnie wa ye deep no kubie bi na we nya banking issue me ka asama chiro pain tienie government na de na wo ye no ye fake dollar na ye woni pin ye fake enya no kore eno ntina ye banks no entimi emma bosia no so 142% of a year bank credit flow collapse. That is a red flag. It shows economy a enyina ne nanso tienie emo obi ama meda down to mfutrum wani. Now yanko a year announcement number 2. We dey mesere mu a mo obi a medi matem. Announcement number 2 no yeti krom ha. Ohwe ahaya on the 11th of March. Aka 2 months pepepe. Na ura ato forcing ato awo force. Ekoka kire ye se na yadawroma wo ba bebie Women's Bank. Na Women's Bank no na ehye omo manifesto. Now Women's Bank no or the same bebie a enam so omo ya atrofo na omo nka no kurenti no. Okogina Parliament. Yentie atofo mind you 11th March 2025, which is exactly 2 months. And was it the year 2025 no? Omo bebie Women's Bank. Yentie yura ato forcing. Ato awo force yentie no.
We have also allocated 1.3 million Ghana cedis as seed fund for the establishment of the Women's. Right, Honorable Speaker. We have also allocated 51.3 million Ghana cedis as seed fund for the establishment of the Women's Development Bank. Mr. Speaker, we have also allocated 300 million Ghana cedis to the National Apprenticeship Program. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, we have also allocated an amount.
Ato awo force wadama papa. They say Women's Bank and the band beba. If se me no ka say Bank of Ghana ne Women's Bank 51 million aka say obeye no. Bank of Ghana ese se opese obi bank wo Ghana. The minimum capital requirement a wo hia 400 million. Nenam se atoro ahwe omo kra mu ma. Na omonim se manfo ni nsua de manfo ni nredi. Etie twa manfo ni tronti no. Okobo 51 million wa abere onim se 51 million ebie banka enye ye. Now shortly after ohun se wagu fi no. Ana okopie mu wo City FM okokyerɛkyerɛ akamu ye asempa nso de tietia. Okoduru City FM mum ana waka say government allocated 410 million. Abaya frakadam killnet aban. 1 year down the lane, almost 1 year. women bank ni sesihio ye hunu ba bi ewo na minim se ye 51 million etimi bie bank e wa abra the real figure of a capital requirement ye hia ye di enu bie bank near 400 million eti na ese ohunu se aban no eye atro eye nkontompo aban me ka na mudi matem me atemdidie no ensesa hwe me se monimia ewiase nipa nyina ekọ right na me hwe din na me busa mo se ade no mo nyina ekọ right ese me call left na me ye setting in my mind se me call left bibia no we betimi asesa now mudi matem nyina na me kire mwade mu behunu nso e se aban no omo nka no kore propaganda ne content creating ye wo mo de chance wo mo be ye adwuma aban no propaganda content creating eye wo mo de chance wo mo be ye adwuma it is ye busa the pertinent questions the real issues beyond eye santro na mu twa kire mo no ese ye busa the real issues eti obufu wa ho so obufu se me busa eye the real issues obufu wa ho Wadalma enemisa be busa question Oti region for eto abama Yera John Dramani Mahama. Oti region for to abama Yera John Dramani Mahama no. Oti region for most of the asem.
Bonatim ko na waba no. Hwe. Fasia, hwe. Wow. Bra. Wow. Ye krom kwa no. Krom fin fito. Aha. MPP winning seat da. NDC na winning seat. Ewa ha. NDC nema ehia party mu bia bra. E da mamo. I'm president. I'm minister. Yes, I'm MP. Eddie MC account. Who joined them? She have not been a blue campaign time. And this is for more target. Sana MP for the more target. She have from 50. Get a car, bra. What is it? Bra. Yeah. Anado abed dam na to no Mahama wa ba church ende mbra kobra don't fit MPP form target na ha NDC for a party campaign time ntokwa ya kuma NDC no na hwe from fifi ya da enwa hwebronyasi hwenkwanta hwepasa na chere na ya mu hwekasa isi fasika no so hwekasa isi pro ni ya mu nyina sese bra kobra just stop I walk down just stop untikro amampo teduani e okro na nta fuwe akoso okro
yo kachi eye wadama
shade si profit
kachi wadama etiwe wadama eye oti region for na semenka Yera John Dramani Mahama se Yera John wo mto abama wo we do won kan bone oto abama wo nti so oto abama wo de a omo Serwaa wo nso ehia eye ekwan etiwe eye public announcement we menka bone menya hwe we a public announcement keke why Yera John Dramani Mahama aban aha nti wo bufu a wo ya NDC ni na bufu na atworocho nkwase asem a eyo wa na abuafu ho wa na abuafu de na ade ne yesi Ghana ese no petrol no abafom nanso still no yenya cars ni bi efa entu kwan adai ade asemwa ade na esi ade ne yenya eye petrol ni bi ese no okay so one before see a no MCE for a year Mampong Tienye MCE for Mampong we are closely watching you me baby this ankomo but before some abedin komo no samejam fi ade asemwa
24-hour economy no yen hye ya John Mahama ne NDC adwe hu yi akwa akiri
nokure
say de ba na beboa me yakriti enwuma pa
nokure
enwuma pa nya adwuma keke enwuma pa
No correct.
Ama Ghana for mu ni adwuma. Titiriw mpa. Anything you catch 24-hour economy and what just say edwuma pa. 24-hour economy edwuma pa. It's about decent, well-paying, sustainable jobs. Mama said, "Dear na ye Yebema passport office aye edwuma 24/7. No break. Yebema DVL aye edwuma 24/7. The same for POS. Inti ya titi beko edwuma no pa no wotwe 8 hours ebebo no 9 enwumre no wapon. Na Captain Smart ako no 9 ako si 12 a.m. 8 hours. Captain Smart airport na sami je mfiko 12 a.m. ebisi anopa 8 a.m.
Okay.
Enti se we nya adwuma anopa ma ne ha because na do betuma nya adwuma. We nya adwuma anwumra ma ne ha because ahomache betuma nya adwuma. That is what happens abroad.
Correct.
Enti all these state institutions made me happen I am found to who omo nya adwuma 24/7 no. Say and then one shift 8 hours no more yen so mo adwuma 400,000. Omo the 2 shifts ka ho adwuma for no enkoso.
Times 3.
Same yadase. Same yabi 24-hour economy no almost say abaso. So we say times 3. 81 job, 3 shifts. Yes sir. Now if you the 1 job, 3 shifts aba. Na a trotro drivers GPRTU for. Womo so say ampani ampa tienie. But before say about trotro drivers ni GPRTU for so no. Angosi Prat, wona aboa me ye campaign ma eye NDC for. Na omuwa ban mu ene omuwa opposition ene omuwa ban mu no. Angosi Prat 24-hour economy what you say say.
Electioneering period. What Ghanaians understood to be 24-hour economy was simply that we'll be working around the clock.
Yes.
Nothing more.
Yes.
After the election, the perspective appears to be changing to something else. That's problematic.
That's true.
So we need to know during
the
electioneering period, what Ghanaians understood to be 24-hour economy was simply that we'll be working around the clock.
Yes. Enyame nkwana me notice say aban we ye atro aban. Enyame nkwana me notice say aban we de omo kan no opposition bia no. Wo mu twatro a kire manfo no. Now, even their own Kwesi Pratt, Aneba, mind you, Uncle Kwesi Pratt, Eba Eye Juma, office of the Vice President, Ama Pratt. Eti Uncle Kwesi Pratt said, "Dear, we mukan wo opposition, you know. Wamunu so mobile no more down womano. It is a make at the chain, a make and a wunyin near. What dear Kwesi Pratt ebe kabi, Angosi, Bacho Wadaruma, Yensen Chub, you why?
Was simply that we'll be working around the clock.
Yeah.
During the electioneering period, what Ghanaians understood to be 24-hour economy was simply that we'll be working around the clock.
Yes.
Nothing more.
Yes.
After the election, the perspective appears to be changing to something else. And that's problematic.
That's true.
So we need to know really what the 24-hour economy should mean. We knew what it meant. What it meant was that people would work.
Yes.
That
was the narrative. Yes.
Okay.
Shift system.
Now it doesn't appear to be that, and there's a need for some interrogation. Okay. So I agree with that.
It's when you're American. What did you matem? What did you matem? But 24-hour economy no. Samija mfimu nchire muone say 1 job, 3 shift. Na fimu kofa 1 job, 3 shift aba. Na trotro drivers nso say so mu load ye free eye yemfa ne say eye Angunaga junction de Akosua mea instead so mbe load straight no omu take inspiration from a 24-hour economy it will be loaded from Angunaga junction wo drew eye airport runabout no agina wo load from airport runabout wo drew Krofrom no agina so minko bio no wasa load from Krofrom no de atoa so Akosua me no anya 3 Musimun tibida, muna muma wa mude saadi ene bai. It's 133 transport economy. Ano more rane. So Angunaga Junction to airport runabout. First fare. Airport runabout to Krofrom, second fare. Krofrom to Swami, third fare. Muna modiaba. It is a mudi 133 aba. Now trotro drivers and they say nei wamo enya yi enipa nya car adentia 24-hour economy ne 133 shift no wo driver for no so practice bi eni say no so wo call from Pokwasi to circular obefa from Pokwasi to Fankor roundabout first shift o from Fankor roundabout no abesi abeka second shift and sana from abeka to circle third shift musimunti bi da 81 trade there a very good policy etumunya driver for no musu nya bi manfo ni nya car a driver for ne nya hwe de mo ka asa mo beye no ana mo di kan aye amamo 24-hour economy na de mo ka asa mo beye no ana mo eye amamo obia nya mfonso edise nipa no wo kɔ malamu a olodi free achemota eso otimi gina La Paz na munyina musi na wa load from La Paz to Sotrium na munyina musi Sotrium na watu aso akwa kodu eti 133 nobody should come and do any answer 133 formula no anu mugusu a omoye no we announcement ubufu a yensori mfiri eho na yenni nkomo we so MCU4 Mampo Asante Mampo se Asante Mampo no muka se omo mpene ma Asanteni bia ma MCU ho no ampeni ampa omo ma Asanteni bia nya MCU ho na afi yentie Mampo municipal se me ne wo kasa yi omo allocate 300,000 wo hwe ade ya me dia to so ya appendix already ade na me dia to so no a me ne wo kasa Mampo municipal no allocated 300,000 Ghana cedi. So or they drill boreholes, 3 mechanized boreholes. They momo or ye boreholes for a year communities are or more poor and needy. Ironically, one no MC or yes, our budget in you know. Borehole no ni fee also want to mean konko bunsu na man for nemre. Ade or the show also what the yama a year the needy society no. Or no MC a allocation what two baako e woni fie instead say call the poor people no MCE's residents what two borehole no ho saa so no de baako call MA block e do ose krom chips compound now question ye busan say the program is sustainable potable water distribution to a year undeserved communities underserved communities now underserved communities MC yene so no residency ho no ye underserved community it was 100,000 be ye borehole ho frakadama ban MC yowa Santemampong what the 300,000 a share ne budget mu say what they kwakoye underserved communities sustainable potable water distribution to underserved communities now underserved communities or no residents one so say underserved communities is why ba ko tienie. Now, question ye busa say, even usha prices of borehole, the average borehole cost between 30,000 to 60,000. Then MC, overpriced borehole to 100,000 Ghana cedi. We are asking questions. MC, then wo raise borehole prices. Me 2 borehole ama agona. Maboa asaman fo amoma ye omo boho awie maboa kona fo amoma ye omo boho awie mama oma kotu boho ewo jamaase. I have an idea how much boho cost now Asante Mampong den ana wo boho no me too agona de me ye no sophisticated still it cost me about nearly 80,000 Ghana cedi jamaase de was around 50 to 60,000 Ghana cedi. Then I won't call borehole dear. So MC, we are asking you pertinent questions and you have to answer. You will answer. Thank you. Now, young transfer before that.
Mama Messina Bia Putro Snapio Snapia DJ Sabia ucho.
Yesterday.
Sababu ni waya mamia onya yefone. Sababu budget is a metia. Okay. That's a memo. Budget is a.
All right, thank you very much. So, sticking with me a year for the record. So, now when Mr. P and Mr. X, you Majuma. Oh boy, Mr. P and Mr. X be any baby. Mr. P, Mr. X, yani edi ensa pia by yansa na ba friend Mr. P. Your friend Mr. X. Eti ye nyina na edi yansa na pia ni biebiem. Eti say Mr. P, Mr. X move on to so me na me de to so. Sa na ye no. America de oba bedura. Ahanwa na ayo bibia. Usi wo yere nneoma wie sinkola ne nneoma wie a no aba betena yi camera nim no wa ye ne saa na ye no Mr. P Mr. X bia ni baby a ye nyina ye nsa ba ko ye Mr. P ye nsa left ni ye Mr. Y saa na ye no why ti monyi ntum saa now yentie owura Sam George yentie.
Lastly, on the LGBT issues, I mean, if you get a nod, how far would you hope to push it? The president, your candidate, when he was interviewed on the BBC, he said he would now look into what is in that bill.
You know, that's a misconception that's been put out. And I listened to that full BBC interview. President Mahama has been clear that he will sign that bill, and he has no option than to sign that bill. President Mahama will know no peace from Sam George until he signs that bill. And he himself has said that to the clergy, that as a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill.
That's a tribute.
Lastly, on the LGBT issues, I mean, if you get a nod, how far would you hope to push it? The president, your candidate, when he was interviewed on the BBC, he said he would now look into what is in that bill.
You know, that's a misconception that's been put out. And I listened to that full BBC interview. President Mahama has been clear that he will sign that bill, and he has no option than to sign that bill. President Mahama will know no peace from Sam George until he signs that bill. And he himself has said that to the clergy, that as a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill.
As a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill. Then he pay chantra. Aya monshano. Both and the Kwanwuntini na yiyi. Monsha Sam George bill. A Hong Kwan is a dear. Nana Nimusia na way Sam George way a year elder. A year Reverend Janasare Asori. Sam George elder. But we try to throw politics into our one home. The question we are asking today, Sam George here to baby all of a sudden the energy and what they call LGBT young penny young kolano ye say shum energy nasa hoodwinked all of us or about what time all of us we thought that it was for a genuine cause they were fighting for a year LGBTs and some we didn't want a year all of a sudden ye to baby ye fine now senka a year enunkuwa akanya ya naka yɛda sɔre yi a yɛsɛ yɛfrɛ bibi teacher manual ne yɛde teacher manual ne yɛ sɛ yɛde curriculum akɔma ɛyɛ teacherfoɔ sɛ ɔmo fa nkyerɛ adeɛ no ɛsɛ yɛma wɔn manual akɔyɛ sɛ wakoto TV how to set up so yɛde curriculum na brɛw na ebom no part of the curriculum no ɛsɛ yɛma wɔn manual a wɔde bɛkyerɛ adeɛ so 2025 physical education and health ɛyɛ elective teacher manual ye ma teacher for no. Ironically, the apostles of LGBT anti-LGBT campaign. Omwa bemu. Na you see say ure fi ohua da bia be yemfonso. Sa ban we ya na John Mahama. One Andrew Solomon koda ampaso. So if John Mahama on a second term eka chiro se obeko etia galams LGBT. Were you really expecting that oba fighting against LGBT? Oh yeah, normal. John Mahama wotimi president wotimi ne bema kodam paso president o reduce your governance to that level say bema ene o bema edam paso when he was the president, on Andrew Solomon Kodam, and you actually thought that Sani Panosenya another opportunity or Besaba. So, Yanan Soria, teacher Manuano, Samuridi, if it's very clear, teacher Manuano, Omodi Ashe a year asiye, Tienye. Teacher Manuano say, now there is a different definition, gender identity and internal experience, Tienye. Recognition of non-binary identities. Eti say yeka say gender identity eye oba ne be ma no. Ene dwomama ban mu. Teacher man wa ye de ama eye enkola no so omo nkosua de no. Mo ready ba bia ya circle ne blue no a. Oso omo de omo nyintum, teacherfo ne nyintum say eye oba ne be ma ana ye the only gender. Munti asem yo. Me hu ye ka say gender. Gender de either male or female. Eti Church of Christ ni anka waban mu de and yamatan times we thought that we will not probably see some. Nemom yada sorry here. Gender na ye define no or say it refers to a person's deeply felt internal experience of gender which may or may not correspond with his sex assigned at birth. Ye de be kire ye mano e mema ni niu. Ye de be kire ye nkola no. Ye say teacher for no say first no, ye ka say gender nke male and female. Nemom apostles of anti-LGBT and they under their governance. Womo say yen ka say do gender, it refers to a person's deeply felt internal experience of gender, which may or may not correspond with the sex assigned at birth. It can include being male, female, or a blend of both. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. John Mahama abmemuono. The omode chire yemano. Or say this concept goes beyond the binary notion of gender, that is male and female, and recognizes the diversity of gender experience and expressions. These were not accidental inclusions. Haruna Idrusu and set up Naka. Don't forget, during Professor Jena no Poku Ajima time, and a UNESCO for issue, UNESCO for program be omoye so omoye. And what na sa gender and say same way sha se baye. Now a babedru here omso MPP for na dey it started with John Mahama under Professor Jena no Poku Ajima no vice president. And omosi ye ntumu say ye ka say eye gender enye male and female bi. Na emom no eye male, female and any other description as nipa ni fili. Haruna Idrusu. Who authorized this definition? When authorized it? When authorized it, was it Parliament? Was Parliament informed? They say ye changing one idea. PTA, Parents and Teachers Association. Mama phone papa phone. Timunim say the idea we ya share. Mo ayi say mo man say wo mo besua say oye oba na mo fili say oye kwadwo oye be ma wo fili say oye kwadwo besia ampa ye gender. Afe yetri wo mo to e sha ase say you so we have recalled Naka say we recall it. Now not only should Naka recall Nyomana, we are calling for Professor Samuel Ofori Bekoin, said President in Sakeno. If indeed the president does not support this nonsense of LGBT, then Professor Samuel Ofori Bekoin should be sacked. Other than that, apostles of Trumu, and then Muamemuono and Trumu na Mubu. Tienye, apostles of anti-Trumu and then Trumu Amemuo ana Wamubu. Na yentie enchirimua Naka president no edebai.
Need that assistance to be able to implement the curriculum effectively. There's the need for those who develop the curriculum also to do a kind of a guide that will guide the teachers in how to go about implementing the curriculum. And so this particular manual was developed for the physical education and health elective program for SHS Year 2. And although it was developed in 2024, they were releasing the manuals as and when the learners were ready to enter particular years. So 2025 was the year for that 2025-2026 academic year was when the new the students who were doing the new program entered Year 2. So that was when the manual was released.
Yeah, that's it. It's Inaka president to say, yeah, the 2024, it will buy in one shim, yaman oversight responsibility, Juma. Say, one woman, Yamran Chen Mabawano. Woman Shian your papa, which corresponds with a social cultural practices. Almost over the Debbie, he say, Ghana for, Aso for, Munyanama Idi. Sana Kufa to buy in the first year, second year, Munyanama Yediniaka. A drew baby a moon say, Ya Kodich, and Amusha say, Bekan. Now, John Diesu, you be a woman, your money, baby. Yaka, Aso for Yedi. Reverend Genocide, Wayedi. A papa and a minimum cracker or a sphincter, Duncan Williams, Wayedi. And they are try a man who said, Trumu, ya acceptable, Bianca wasm. Aso for Bianca wasm. A dear, Nigeria's mood did say tam. It is for Nina, and some Hunun Comse, and some Hunun Comse. When I say me your buffo, Mosha, Siena Mokabi, Muntimi Kabi, Ube Jinawa and I, Ubia didn't have a canjo Mahamabia, Ubia didn't have a canjo Mahamabia, or buffo. When ye dear shet Yadiumusi and Kola Kushia, says they say you knew about any Bema, you will buy your Bema, and you what the Akolan were feeling. It you do baviness of a sea training trade your Kuramani or buy Emma Kwamani. Ubia Swan Casa. I was it, please try, Alas and Musa say, please try and, okay, dear Evans, please try and translate it into tree. Ninja answer your mama says, you're begging to move, or more Chiram Colano, and your free be a year indoctrination, TNA. Now, subversion. If you want to destroy a society, you don't need to, the only thing you have to do is to miseducate a generation of that society. And that generation of that society will one day come and miseducate the rest. And that will be the end of the case. It makachira say, sa conscientization of yankola, sa womo suen trumu, it we the enti omudi ashem say. And then minu mienu, the enti ye bon trumu so na ye hu eye tan eye hini say. Ye nyina ye ba no. We were taught to hate it. Tienye. Now broni ni munyansenti. Ono ma meko sa dede na mo ye no ye hian so be change mo curriculum educational curriculum ode be fa eye etibon kosofo a ya bo mo paase wo mo emmuman na yesesa no na akola ye ko kire ne se o free na ye ko akola wadi 12 wadi 13 ye free na ye ko ye free bi gender nemom gender ne enye male and female nemom no it recognizes diversity of gender. It is a u feel ko jo be se no so gender. A time will come sa ankola ye o mu sua sa de no omune ba be members of parliament omune ba be shemra sabre ni duru oni ye ntumu ade no ba beto a enye omutan because omusua ne ye kire wo mo so dede na amoye no jomama aban e kire ye nkola ne se ntumu nya hwe. In the next 10 20 15 to 30 years there is no way as ankola ne be ye omutan eti said ye ya omuma ye to ya bosum nyina guye. No man fed you near Jane. It was just to indoctrinate you, subversion. They needed to miseducate you for a while. And one casa be coffee and no mammy mabeko. It's a bedu baby in Kola or Musia Sansim Hunui, or Mumba Shari no mammy Marcos in Trumu a day. If say up until 1960 year in Britain, now we ye Trumu ya chua, Yakum, Tienye, ya do to jail. And I'm see a ma kwama and Kola ni Shushia, a year, Sanyoma Wayna, and a Britain in Trumu ya normal conversation with them. Sani yasua makwan mo de sani omo ehihye ye curriculum mu e de kire nkola na dia ene obebisa so eye de enya hwe but omo de kire nkola na dia a time will come that sa nkola no ane ba benyini na omo nyina omo de ba be hyemra sa nkola no ene ya makwan ma ubie eye movies almost every movie Sam George ani tiri koto se jemu aboa every movie in Ghana se ne obehwe a when yakora benya 1 or 2 gay scenes wom yenkola no so ye ne wo na ehwe ene cartoons nyina yenkola ne wo na ehwe cartoons nyina the gay scenes a him enso Mahama so wo fight because on sign what the papa wedi would you omudi at your own peril tie dem kan yi be say uje Mahama aban di at your own peril. President Otimi ene Andrew Solomon Koda and Paso. Such a demeaning posture of a certain president of a nation. Now Otimi ne Bema Fufro Koda and Paso mi twa na picture. Such a character and mujidi se ampanyampa wasesa. It's just a matter of time. Give time, some time, and people will see it. Some George I know fusa you wanna manu akunko to say you Lufthansa eba bitu. Owie nya to me we. Once we can get once a meal. Say they know si kwa up and down near so for yempene. Once we nya to me we your be minister. Once we can get once a meal. Na kionet aban me se mu nyina mani e will come. Ma worry, ma bibia ha. Na yema bre na ngasa enyi ne ho adi. Wate. Na yan sorry free wo medical ka chem say aban no wonka no kore aban no eye kionet aban na aban ne ye kionet aban ti wo de niema bebre esiesie mu yanko break e be saba
I am going to a phone. Many years right. Many years right. I am going to. Now my business, yeah. Oh, you won't be my home, no, Mama, it's rosy. Oh, you're going to trouble now.
Medi Yesuachi. Sa. Ora, fellas Ofosu Kwache, edi nsemu tuja enra. Ofrena accountability series of a year John Mahama amemu. Now, accountability series in your busa question. So far, government no day. But young Koniani, fellows of Zukwache, and Chikenkomonamu, and Nipa Wamua Bemu. They lack integrity, they lack a year honesty, propaganda, a true and ye sumnipano. So last year, a arise test concert of Fusukwachi Salomema, also yet Munye Jasani Mano. Huh? O friend Salomema Sana Ediabe. Oh, where Jama Dome market for Manone, a Makola, Mamikemu Enka. So why ye Salome, Nemo Mono, oh no betrana way, Jai. Fellows of Fusukwachi, Yentio.
More fun. And my DC is right behind me, so he's fully aware of this. Each district is required to construct 2 new chips compounds this year. Each district. So if you put that together, we are talking in excess of almost close to 600 chips compounds. That will be put up this year alone, or at least work on them will start this year. If we maintain the tempo, that should give us 2,000 chips compounds in the next 4 years, and this is a significant step towards improving healthcare services for the people of Ghana. Because even the Abokomano chips compound that I put out sometime in April last year to the Assembly's Common Fund, and my DC is right behind me, so he's fully aware of this. Each district is required to construct 2 new chips compounds this year. Each district. So if you put that together, we are talking in excess of almost close to 600 chips compounds. That will be put up this year alone, or at least work on them will start this year. If we maintain the tempo, that should give us over 2,000 chips compounds in the next 4 years, and this is a significant step towards improving healthcare services for the people of Ghana. Because even the Abokomano Chips compound that I put out sometime in
Ora Felix Ofosu Kwache last year say Wamaka chere a year abino MCs and a district assembly for ne say obiansi 2 chips compound na ye ni ade na wadaroma lady we esa mo hwehwe na me nim no me hu ne da, but the lady is very intelligent. Lady ni shia a year Felix Ofosu Kwache yentie.
June last year too, you indicated that government was going to construct at about 600 chip compounds. And I ask you directly because you made the comment or you made the promise. I want to find out from you if these 600 chip compounds you said were going to be constructed at the end of 2025 has been constructed, and when are they going to be operational?
The second bit is about the chips compound. Now, it is not my policy. I spoke about it, announced it.
Hey, you want to say, oh yeah, Papa, go any monte. Oh yeah, Papa, go any monte. They say they would Ghanaian free policy. No, it is not my policy. Felix, what the two just said chips compound, mubesi bi. Now mubesi 2 per every a year district assembly. And wabani busa say chips compound be a new per district assembly. No, ayet day. Accountability. Felix,
but it is government policy.
June last year too, you indicated that government was going to construct at about 600 chip compounds. And I ask you directly because you made the comment or you made the promise. I want to find out from you if these 600 chip compounds you said were going to be constructed. Enough to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. The previous government had about
now Felix Ofosu Kwache chips compound and oh now Felix say rebrofo. So when we say chips compound simply means ABC, Felix, and yet chips compound simply means asem and yeka. Ye busa say chips compound ewohe. Oh, when we say chips compound, no de nam, no watre, no when Timmy anka say chips compound, ye wie baako si. Felix Ofosu Kwache ntimi anka wo. Na me ba be ka kire mo say aban ne ye kill net aban. Now, Yentie Felix, and I know me the two just say Abina appointed presidential staffers omuwo at the same rank as deputy ministers. It ye bo moka as though omuye deputy ministers. Say me kura de minyane wrong. Now, Felix Ofosu Kwache Baba responded to me Yentie.
Somebody say that presidential staffers acted as deputy ministers. No, they are not. In terms of entitlements, they are equivalent to ministers, presidential staffers. So when you hear somebody referred to as a presidential staffer, in terms of entitlements, they don't function as ministers, but in terms of what they earn and their package that goes with their office, they are equivalent to ministers. Presidential aides are equivalent to deputy ministers in terms of their service conditions. And then there are political staff who are staff of these staffers and presidential. For example, if you go to the president's office, there's the president himself, there is the chief of staff, there's a secretary to the president, there's a legal counsel, and then there are other senior advisors. These advisors don't work alone. They also have staff that they work with. So if you put all of that together, there was a point that we had about 361 under President Akosua. I think about 41 staffers or so, who by virtue of that position would be entitled to the conditions of service of ministers.
Mom pay attention, say Edu Akufo-Addo the answer there. Or both figures Akufo-Addo, apart from the ministers, 120 ministers, or both figures of a presidential staffers. Na lady way, I don't know who she is. I think the lady must be I see a bully the number so. Or mom ko bebre na musanya answer question bia. Now, Felix, yenti.
and deputy ministers. So the 125 Land Cruisers would come with another 40 Land Cruisers and 40 saloon cars, 40 bungalows, or 40 sets of payments of rent allowance, 40 sets of payment of fuel for every week, and then all the other conditions that they are attached. So you do not really need a soothsayer to tell you how colossal the cost to government was to have that number of people. The fact and reality now is that we have fewer people in government now than we did under the previous administration. So significant savings have been made that cannot be disputed. That must be placed on record.
Fewer people in government now than a Akufo-Addo. It should be easy to answer the question of how many presidential staffers anamuwo ananyasa. Yentie lady no yenti.
100 staff at the presidency. You were bold enough to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. I want to know concrete figures. How many staff do we have here?
I can tell you for free
at the presidency
that the numbers here are far less.
You were bold enough to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. I want to know concrete figures. How many staff do we have here?
I can tell you for free
at the presidency
that the numbers here are far less. Indeed, we are required by law this quarter, I think by March or so, to present the list to Parliament. So you will see. I think that the numbers are being compiled, but I know for a fact that it is far less than what we inherited from the previous administration. And when it goes, you will see it. Yes.
Now,
thank you very much.
Okay, or say a far less. How many presidential staffers and a whole government spokesperson cannot tell us how many presidential staffers after 1 year in government? Otiminya Akufo-Addo de kai. But a yet 1 year in government, a whole government spokesperson cannot tell the people of Ghana the number of people working at the presidency. How many presidential staffers do we have? Now, Osi Akufo-Addo 120 ministers plus 300 presidential staffers. Meanwhile, in 2024, government compensations was about 63.6 billion. Tienye. And ye di ye ewo presidency. Sa time na Akufo-Addo de no ewo soro. In 2025, aban na wose ne de no wo fom no. Sa aban koro no in 2025 e raise cost 76.6 billion. Tienye. Aban no. A ono felisofo kwa chinya 72 million de tena ba bi ote no. So wo de ye government communication. Eti Akufo-Addo aban no so. Ye hu bi da. Eye large. In 2024, or the 63.6 billion. Jomama Abaya Ba, Abaya Sha, lean government, ministers near 60. Now, 76.6 billion ye allocated core presidency, so munkonkodi. In 2026, government has allocated 90.7 billion here. They kwa koma Abaya na Ushano. Abaya Show, Chenye. Abaya also was saving. The question is say savings no dey ma yen ewo he. But when the NTA ontimi enka enchira the number of presidential staffers because makacham say abaya no eye frakadam eye killnet abaya. Mon hwade. Abaya we e release makacham say omo sheda appointee eye ministers especially regional ministers aba kwada ne TikTok minister. Now, omo appointed regional ministers we here no. And omo person omo appointed deputy regional ministers. But when omo kokan deputy regional ministers ye be kan aka eye ministers ho. Etiem from omo eye deputy regional ministers. Nemo ye be from omo eye regional coordinators. Tienie. Ye be from omo regional eye political coordinators. Now, regional political coordinators yen hwa de bi wa ha. Mohwade you pay attention. Mohwade bua. Now, omo release our list way. Pay attention. List way Anthony Nupenu, Miami or your regional political coordinator to the regional minister for Greater Accra region. TNU. Now, surprisingly, omo sa list way we you know. Omo the Ashanti region thereby mienu but among fa Ashanti region the enemy enu nyina no enhye at the same place. Esa o ready a ubehunu ne ntem se omo eye frakadam. So ade na me de akere mo no. Monhwe eye last end ho. Ubonso omachro okay. Ye ready top no. Isham Alasan. Isham, oh, sorry, let me come back. So, Isham Alasan, second row, or your regional political coordinator to the regional minister for Ashanti region. Tienye. Now, we Isham Freewa. The next person, yanko the next list so. Yenyi the next list, never wait so. Now, next list, na share asiye ho. On say, omudi ni mienu nyina akọ boss at the same time, anka wu ready a. Ubehunu say Ashanti region kwa ya appointed. Now Pfizer Dauda ewo down ho ono nso deputy regional political coordinator to the regional minister for Ashanti region. Now dim dia aban we killnet no mo ya atro nipa bonefo aban ti no. When him say actually omo appointed miensa. Menya ne tia kura said no omo sa appointed ba kwa kan wo. Na omo appointed miensa no omo anfo omo nyina din ama. Eti the omudi card ni din baye eye second row no tienye the omudi card ni din baye. Now Oma omitted the name of this individual who is my brother. Oma omitted the name of this individual. Oma amfani din ama. In 2025 August 19th Anna Dr. Frank Amwakohene TikTok minister Ebeka kire ye say Mr. Sylvester Japan first no yi movie a dodo na friend slide me nua pa nyanche me no dako ete ne nka na ache then times miracle films me no ana na ebo Sylvester Asar ye can say Sylvester Japan ye appointed as deputy political coordinator for Ashanti region and so omo release a list no omo amfa Sylvester Asar di anship when we dia omo di ship omo be hunu say coordinators ni di doso. That is the kind of entro governance I mo namujidi. That is the kind of hypocritical governance being given to you, and you believe them. Chiediamekaye, omo appointed Sly as deputy regional political coordinator. Our muji pay equally as deputy ministers and ministers. Now, Oma amfa onidi and share list ni because omudi ni di share list ni mo behunu. Eti jomama aban no atro aban. No kura ba akokura nim. But when I keep on telling you guys are not listening. Other than the sliding, they've omitted it from the list of coordinators. I don't know my omitted. Ashanti regional minister and the Tonyama na to ho. August and Ashanti regional minister Becca say appointed Sly as deputy regional political coordinator. Meanwhile, ya amfani ni anka list no because you need kan ho a. Afi ye be hunu say regional coordinators no mo for. And you believe such a government because our government no president etoto shatawale nyom. You believe such a government because our government no president sheshe kambu red gold green. You believe such a government because that government ni wakwa asori na okotena chiri we humble be so otemo adwene ase Mahama temo mo adwene ase wonim say the theatrics ni mo dechen amamu wonim say theatrics no mo dechen amamu na oman ya yetimi di obi ne yire no mienu asem yetimi bɔ paako wɔn yɛ nipa ketewa saa nipa yi eti frakadama ban no killnet ban no wonim dia mo etimi esu emu eti na da bia na John de ɔyɛ humble John de Yemi God say wa appointed yɛn sɔre free way beka muntie na mo ani kwakuokom so se wani trikoto say ayi anyway yamfa ento so ne yanko US aban But Ntia Menyane said actually there were regional coordinators, political coordinators there. TNA. Etina, there were regional political coordinators mienu already. And once I appointed 3 akoka onu ohunu so de kire mo. Oh. Ajay, Kionet Abino, mo hunu da frakadam abain. Bibie mo ni nso emie. Nanka Felix, wadaroma presidential staffers near say yes engine.
I have to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. I want to know concrete figures. How many staff do we have here?
I can tell you for free
at the presidency
that the numbers here are far less. Indeed, we are required by law this quarter, I think by March or so, to present the list to Parliament. So you will see. I think that the numbers are being compiled, but I know for a fact that it is far less than what we inherited from the previous administration. Then when it goes, you see it. Yes. Thank you very much.
Felix, numbers are not a yes saying.
You were bold enough to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. I want to know concrete figures. How many staff do we have here?
I can tell you for free
at the presidency
that the numbers here are far less. Indeed, we are required by law this quarter, I think by March or so, to present the list to Parliament. So you will see. I think that the numbers are being compiled, but I know for a fact that it is far less than what we inherited from the previous administration. Then when it goes, you will see it. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Felix is so on to me the number of presidential staffers and machire mudientia. Kwame. Kwamwachi yadom. O pap yi wofa. Material seno. Yes, me blow me a trumpet. I am one of the most intelligent people that will ever walk the face of this country called Earth. Na me ne manfo ni dilia me manfo no adwene ase. Eti mitimi yusu manfo no mo anka se timi ye bibi no munim se mi yusu o ma mo ayade. So enra ana beto odwa se Trump administration, you know, at the ban ato immigrant visas so 75 countries including Ghana and Nigeria. And of course, me de to Facebook. Me anam chroy, nyame obi anam chroy. Na me de to we na me sa editor na me de shem say World Cup no wahye. So in effect, in their quest to say they want to get at me, which I knew that's what they would do. They ended up propagating Wamuangasa ban na yedi ato o maban so no. They ended up propagating omo ma ban ne kwachire ma manfo teaching say me angasa me to me page. It mwadwene no yenketen. Na nipa maba United States nyata mtegano maba be share immigration law this semester. Ma pass A- in immigration law. Professor Lulu Ferrante class. Ma pass A1. Minim what immigrant and non-immigrant visas are. Minim me de so work up no ashena. Me so mu dimirika omo se yanyano ni amoa. Na omo ye no. Na afi omo angasa e magana fo otese yabane womo angasa. In their quest to sombenya they will come at me, no. They ended up promoting say yabani wo mo ankasa. Mwadwene ye nkete. Edamensa me didi agoro. Me too a minim what family based immigrant visas are. And a minim non-immigrant visas. Na me ba me tena kodo so me de ayi body ha ban ne ba ayi America ho. Eti yabani wo mo was suspended. Okay, brofu bi a pese na okuja to ablakwa ana omo ye na dome market for man say yeti ye baby Donald Trump meka ye de hu ya ni so okuja to ablakwa Donald Trump akọ Venezuela e wakọ pamo eye Maduro Maduro de hu ya so okuja to akọ release letter okuja to na asemwe afa wo ho ben. Because the timing foreign minister a free Kwame Nkrumah penso your foreign policy are very the same. We neither face left, we neither face right. We face forward. Kwame Nkrumah foreign policy. We don't belong to the east, we don't belong to the west. We face forward. Ubedu America. America for say they do not have permanent friends, they have permanent interest. Etikamino kasei. America for ne Venezuela for your madia. And then yes, Mumuya tilted towards the easter. And Kefawu okujeto abla kwa hubain. Professor Mills di money wants to do fiasem. Afeno okujeto ha train wa chro mirror of justice in sem hunu. In sem hunu wa chro. Na do mi make for man say okujeto nkofa asem mreye. Kofa mreye. Afe the simple thing is that America forcing a ban. There has been instances America for suspended a year visas our man for Ghana and Kaho. Anna and yet Ghana and 75 countries, countries who are young for man Kaho, more African continent, so young for man Kaho. And nobody should come and tell me, say, Okuja trust him no cocaine, it has nothing to do with a year visa. It is a Minoka say. Immigrant visas, any actually say family based visas. It is a ukunu. And now we hear it. Ewa America, na te Ghana, no also will file amount. Sebra, chenye. Nebra betena nchenya. Ene menoka say, sa enye juma. Ene wunya visa ya suspended. Ene se who win American lottery, sa American lottery no. Who win ya, ene wuntimi enkonko nya visa if she are suspended. Enya me America. Ene okuje tonse mu no kodi ye. And yes, suspended. Yes, suspended more. And they, because of a year suspension, went say green card who apply for green card ewo Ghana. Visa be based on green card. Say ukunu na we yire and now umpena na bibi eti America no file amount. Unya o papa ma me wa ha unya. Tie de make yi. And then you suspend mu mesi unya. Uma ubetimi ama obuafu ubetimi enkosi hwe unya countries ni bi wo ho ayan suspend wo mo it nobody should come and tell us say anefa he ne kosi he ne yesi ana ni investigate wo mo your countries are investigate ye ya investigate wo mo get out na yanya ni ensore so. Here that abino, you know my we are. Mama mente se adwuma we mfiri ho. Me won se emre bi atwa mu na me ba USA half fro no. Obi betena ni show so. Na ebema, bomidi. Come to America bomidi from picture to on the bomidi bi oni ehwe. The person was just not relevant. But because he decided said we will no longer tell the people the kind of foolishness all you need to know. When you leeway be or the dim kwasi some of them I will let it slide because man for no angasa adwene. But what we will not allow, and it's such a character. Ede empanimfo mabo brachen ne se. Ene na busuafo nyina edin betwitwi ne nkwasi asem a wo yenim. Now, me wo ne sending me video bi efa amatela ho bola bed no se o ka ensem a enye no kore oye toro na oye toro no manfo na dwene mu ha nti wo twa mo toro kora na the and my brother me kire mu a che manfo no also Stephen Ntim ya poison no ne ya poison Stephen Ntim last year. The evidence in way you should also evidence. The evidence in way here was a letter to the Ntim family at Chorobaye. Now Obeka letter na mo. Okay, I would have allowed because still are dunderheads, airheads are the ones who follow this motherfucker. Forgive me, I mean Se wadwini mu dopa na wutia kwa we na wo hwɛ se de wode wadwini di agora. E se wotimu wo se ana okofa President Kufuor din ebehye. Even some many President Kufuor ankasa, knowing the man I know, I knew sir the guy was just being a fool. Wajimi. But anopa na me fa phone na me friend President Kufuor na buza say ne what say. Ye di nkomo a ye be na buza say there is a video going also we hu na I have his permission to state on record. Muntie video no muntie.
Tell Stephen Tim the reason why Stephen Tim issue no enkoye. Do you know say mena woka Sunday J.A. Kufuor ye papa Kufuor nkwa na stopping the family of Stephen Tim from coming out? Do you know why?
Muntie. Let me state on record. Me say me President Kufuor kasa ene anopa. So I have his permission. Say jimisem we ya kwase yi ka no President Kufuor ni mu hwe. Tienie. Jimisem ya akwa na ka no President Kufuor edin ni mu ba bia oni mu hwe. Ora Stephen Tim yam poison ni ba bia. Stephen Tim yare because wanyini ana ehon nsensem ni ade mema yare ni bia che no. Yam poisons chairman Tim ba bia. But obetwa tro a eso kofa mpani din betwitwim. Jimmy Fossey yentie.
The NPP as a political party, they poisoned Stephen Tim. Papa Kufuor is the only person intervening.
Obwa.
The family of Stephen Tim, they want to.
Obwa, President Kufuor nim ni Jimmy Hohe. President Kufuor nim Jimmy Hohe.
Come out publicly and have a press conference and let the world know, say, Stephen Tim was poisoned at one of the events our MPP organized here. J.A. Kufuor is the one standing between this action by the family and the Esiro. Now, say enye J.A. Kufuor and Stephen Tim family about out a press conference. I'm a Ghana for you.
Stephen Tim family nko hu President Kufuor baby President Kufuor nim ho she. Mr. Stephen Tim yam poison no. Stephen Tim yare e no kore. Ne wo yare o yare ne yema yare. No poison anywhere. Chairman Tim yare before even see eko 2020 a year election. Yam poison baby. Now Bolabedi eba bechire mu die nti a ya poison one for evidence fufuro bi ama o say letter Stephen Tim family e de betu dwa no be kan letter no, but it baffles my mind how somebody could read such a letter and put that kind of interpretation on it, and the people believe such buffoonery, such foolishness. I don't get it. After yenti and letter corona or babeka yenti.
Say Stephen Tim was poisoned. That is the reason why Stephen Tim resigning as the head of the NPP, as the national chairman. The party wrote that long statement. They were sending a message to the party, say, you people, you have poisoned our son. Sorry, you have poisoned this year. So I'll go back now, kind letter now, family ni release here now. They were saying something to the party. J.A. Kufuor and I stop Stephen Tim family from coming out. And say me boy, moi we interview president no Chamko Busa Kufuor. Me papa ko we come kan.
Osi yenko busa President Kufuor me say and on all the gods in Ghana that I believe in. Any de mu nyina mugidi. Ensu atwe enwa hia nyina me say anopa yi. Me de President Kufuor adi nkomo. President Kufuor si Jimmy Semwe onim ho hwe. Wonim ho. Plain stupidity. Wajimi, we ya no hwe akola wajimi dia. We ya no hwe a wajimi. Wonim ho hwe. Na ade enti ne ya poison no a oberedi letter ne yenti.
I know, say I know, but I have to say it because o party no omudi nkwasi asem dodo. The NPP poisons.
Yanko read letter corona obeka yenti. Ko anim ne read letter corona. Okay, so letter now or say
you poison Stephen Tim.
You read the letter.
Stephen Tim Abusia for releasing letter no. In fact, let me minimize it and read the caption that was shown. Mokai in Tim family letter nini Mokai sa letter we. Data omutre na 16th of June 2025. And I'm releasing this letter we.
Na atade be nkola pajamas bi e hye no a wode to a wodi o twatro e kire mpani jimi bola bed. Hwe nkola pajamas bi e hye no a wode twatro e to mpanimfo so.
Yeah. Now, Shade, Mami ready baby I am marking ready. Thank you very much team for bringing this in.
Team bia ni baby team bia one dey say.
Asem na ebusuafo no tro omo letter nim. These are fucking dangerous people. Now, see, although not official, it is well known that Mr. Intim is not well at the moment and his condition requires time off from active professional activities in the interest of medical attention and monitoring for the time being. Almost say, Munina Munim. As some of us want to let them say, Minims Yanim Samunina Munim say, I just to be in Tim the home funnel. The party knew from the past that the says to be poison.
Okay, so how do you read a letter which states that although it is not official, but it is well known that Chairman Stephen Intim is not feeling well, and you put a meaning to it that you say, oh, yenyam fan to gase Chairman Intim yare, name me sure say nipa bebre no anim say Chairman Intim yare, and a character like this could sit down and deceive the following, say, that presupposes that Stephen Intim has been poisoned. How does that statement in a letter presupposes being poisoned? Such a daft character, such a crazy ass character. A letter, Stephen Intim, although it is not public knowledge, but it is well known that Chairman Stephen Intim is not feeling well. And to his understanding, that statement now, what kind of human being is this? What human being is this? What Jimmy Kurenti brofo kakra onti ase? Yes, auntie. Yanto asunti.
And I'm can say, Sesia no munyina munim no. Jare na abetod so ne nyina nim se ebe hia se ebe ne nkakra na ya so ne yare na no because munyina munim de okom ebusuafo ne letter nie where 2025 me de okọ back na ma kire why the MPP is a foolish political party.
The evidence ne ye letter you yeso odi nkrata aba nyina na the evidence ne nie letter ne nie.
Now mama kire Stephen Intim the reason why Stephen Intim issue no enkoye time off from active professional activities in the interest of medical attention and monitoring for the time being. Almost say, munyina munim. Asame busuafo no twom letter no say, minims yanim sa munyina munim say, I Stephen Intim the home fano. The party knew from the past that the says Stephen Intim ya poison. And I'm can say, Sesia no munyina munim no. Jare na abetod so ne nyina nim say ebe hia say ebe ne nkakra.
So why in the letter?
Na ya so ne yare na no because munyina munim de okọ.
Hey, Bolabed. Where in the letter is it stated that Stephen Intim was poisoned? You read a letter, the words are very clear, unambiguous. The words in the letter does not need any explanation, but you in your daft mind tends to put another interpretation on the letter to now say that Stephen Intim abusuafo say you're poison, and you get the likes of Ayemani Kweku Komsemo, Eji Kwasia Sedi. How do people who reason believe in this guy? How? I get baffled. How people actually believe such a fool? I don't get it. What your true letter? The words are clear. Stephen Intim yari, although yenyanya in the public, but munyina munim say Chairman Intim yari. It's Chairman Intim yari no. Obey take time off, and it is only normal. It is only humane. It says obi yari. Sabi ahim for cry. Yes, Yesua yari. It is obi yari. Obey take some time off. No dia kwa kohe no yari. How then do you put an interpretation on a letter that says that Stephen Ntim Yare or Kosane Ho Yare, it will be taking some time off to say that they are poisoning Stephen Ntim, and he gets people to follow such a character? If only these people knew what this fool has been doing.
Home, ebusuafo ne letter nie. Where 2025, may they all come back. Now I'm sure why the MPP is a foolish political party.
This the poisons to be in Timuna, President Kufoni Mubino. The evidence in Indian new. When Yenipa Moma Jinedi. And when you're about President Kufoni, I won't care because MPP now are serious. And you're about President Kufoni, I probably wouldn't have even responded. But more Mutien Munyusuma Gene Kakre. More Mutien. Eti mu nyusu adwene no kakra. Obi akan letter no eye na watimi adada am say letter we kire say ya poison obi, and what do you do with that question? Adwene ben na mutrim. Adwene ben na mutrim. Okay, so Issa said, you Okatakyie, where is your evidence in exposing KT because you have not recorded your conversation with President Kufuor? Okay, so let's even assume I did not even speak to President Kufuor. Let's for a second pretend that I have not even spoken to him. I am asking you, Umar, I'm asking you. Enti so obi ye ade no what kind salete we kirewa. What dwene eye adwuma say? Hey, mo so mo ha adwene wo. Timi nyusu adwene. But you see, enye me yasa. And I know Miracle Films can same be me. And sa asem na be the guiding principle amedena mu yase. I say ya na ye wa adwene se de utimi dwene easily no. Sa na obia timi dwene. Bu ho na adwene ne efiri ha ekosi wo yi na esi. Ti ye nya omo ho abotre. I'm not surprised that we get the likes of Kwaku Combs and the Umar, and they believe such foolishness from a guy. What kind of letter no intro him or see a poison? But you see, said the Basin tell us you know, and the Basin tell you a philosopher. We enche or be a philosopher, what? Enche oba be philosopher said obedwa na num na obi a kan asem bia na de obi a no aka na asem a problem bia to no bia meti ahwi ni problem bia ni bia de mo no medisi no PK Sapon woni eye utim ema eye maami Akosua Serwaa Adey. And I ask Adey because say that lumba ewu kone krechi na upese upraise maami Akosua Serwaa. Must you do it at the expense of lumba noa na brabo bebo yana? Adey. Obie ni wa oye die-hard lumba fan papa only buo Emma Akosua Serwaa, even if we did not know her in person. And let me state that mene maami Akosua Serwaa akasa oba beduru Ghana mene maami Akosua Serwaa no papa shi nyina akasa. Eti I don't support any of the two camps, and eyamoden se mo bedia tum se whether Odobroni ne campo whether Akosua Serwaa, I don't support any of the two. But Mami Akosua Serwaa mo camp on as a mo yama and yamani be a time. Enra PK Sapon me nua be ka say ana enya Akosua Serwaa akada blumba go nya hit. When you do that, you are disrespecting the hard work of the man. And I do the siomu what tina si atworo nyuma ya sam gedwa. Semeti ya na jude so meba na masoka ne na me sua de na ochina me yire ti ba bia. Okay, wobua under no circumstance will anybody dispute the fact that Mami Akosua Serwaa has been an integral part of Daddy Lumba's life. Why are there? No two ways about it. But moka mane rubbish as Daddy Lumba ye kwasiampeni bi na nya Akosua Serwaa. Tia be no. Tia Akosua Serwaa na tworo nyoma Daddy Lumba. Ensemo efiri ni tiri mu kan Akosua Serwaa na de ma no ana de be ya. Ade na mo yesa. Ade. Yabetimi abọ Mami Akosua Serwaa aba so. Why are there? Nobody will disrespect her. But one moment yes, as in the quest to some praise Mami Akosua Serwaa no, it is more denigrate papa no achievement. Eti sebi Mami Akosua Serwaa ye mo na aba so. Why are there? She is done well. One developing Lumba, one building Lumba. Nemom Lumba na one building ye wada ya na jude shom etro nyom over 30 years. Oye kwasiampeni. Their narrative no. Their narrative no. Munyai sa ni man. Enya fe. What? Munyai. Mene papa shi kasa. Me ka kire papa shi pen. Se nti wo nua pa na ewu na wo ye. Enti je wo ye nti efe. Enya fe. Eye japade ho asem a obia ne obetimi atena Ghana ho se. Daddy Lumba japade wo beche no o ma Akosua Serwaa bi. Ede nti na ese basa. Ede nti. Enti me masa ye nyina eti ya it cannot happen. But enim guasia no amu ana Lumba na ye wanhia Akosua Serwaa okay. Wanhia Akosua Serwaa anko ba afoforo bi beye. Teresa ye bi dwaben wo wokọ. Okoto Akosua Serwaa ye ne de o play ni ro wawu Lumba wokọ. Ayi odobro ni be so mo no so play ni ro pa. Obi aye bi. It is not an either or situation. And yet either here or there. I dare be no. Mo nyanse na me hwa papa shi ya. Na me busa mo se timiti wiase. Me namfo no mbe pa na se wo china mewu a umbedi nkwase asem ya papa shi ye di agumanu ase. Me hwa mu a me hu se Kofi Kwaku, se Denis Ejejumo, se Kwaku Osu se Chiro, se Alex Kwaku Boatin. So me hu di obedi nkwase asem se de me hwehwe mu a me hu me ntiase na me ya no ana na nanu mo ka kyerem se na nei na wo hunu bi na aro afisa one nkwase afo nso adi agoropen one nkwase afo adi agoropen omo wo picture entie bia make say nei for the past 15 years one say nipa no kura ni agoro because wo hunu say bia na adwene mu no eti wo mpa na godie bio. Nemo oni ni di agro mi emire bi atwa mu no woni watwa picture wochina se BBC na se ni panepa me na menim no onya ka so woni nim no de picture ne kire obi abeka se I make us go bia no abra boy latter part of it that person was not there. Eti me ka kire mu nkwase afo amenim odi agro a wo me picture wochina ye wu ade baba be kire abedi de abeye de papa shi eye no fa picture ne bra ne bagiska me pe nkwase asem. So when him say ochina, we are was I'm fighting for truth. Truth be. Of what good is the truth if it does not bring peace? No kureka no se emfa sumdue mamu obi ahonto no a no kureka no a wo se wo kan. Why no kure? Akosua Serwaa de odobro ni dia na Lumba de. No. Anje Akosua obia wo ayi anti Akosua mi bu no papa obi antimi mfa nanim nyefo enya no kore Lumba wonye boni aye ni wo bitimi ne papa won suta donwa otimi edanase emire bi atwa wo bitimi ye Lumba papa wa kura bi ase 30 years later obedanase to onye boni aye ni ti anti Akosua won niam a wo ye nyina eye no kore wa ya ade ye nyina ye ta na chi odobro ni so be ye bi. What's there be either or situation? Adai. Na papa shi wotu wiase na wunim nyansa. Wunua no on de kofa mai mienu nyina bai. E ma no yeso de ba ko hye tokuru mu hui. Ti e de ba no. Mediga ka me se wo a onim se me no wadi agoropen. Me wu a wo me picture aba be di nkwase asem sei. Fa bra be gi picture be gi ska. Me pe nkwase asem. Wunim se sei na abaye machi. Na ntimi nkura machi. and make sure your father and force back at what they just want to mean Katama de Jasso now, say now, by idea. First, Brabaji. First, for a picture, Kwana and everyone, Fabaji, because a neighbor could have 15, 20 years in the mean whom, maybe 10 years in the mean whom. Defense here. The say she next week.